Hey guys, welcome to part 2 for building the arcade 1up Pinball. As I said, I am not perfect. I did have one mistake here I want to point out to you guys real quick. I did misjudge the distance or the depth of this joystick. So now I have a hole that I have to be filling in today. But that's another story. So I re-drilled the hole where it's going to be on the left-hand side. Now we're going to kind of go back where we started. So, Visual Pinball is the software you'll need. And getting this started, you want to go into Control Panel. And you want to go into, just going to type joystick up here. Devices and printers, that works. Like I said, you got two joysticks up here for me. There's two. One is actually this joystick here, and the other is actually the thing that's operating the lights. There's nothing else connected to it at the moment, and that will be actually the joystick we're going to be using. So, to figure this out, you left click once, right click, game controller settings. And we got both of our joysticks here. So we want to do properties. And as you notice, when I press the corresponding buttons here, actually this is joystick 2, so let's go to the other one. Actually, okay, so these are already, I wired up the ones, I'll show you what I did. Anyway, when you press a button, the corresponding light will come up. And you can check it out. So if you get into this one, you can do the other one here. And properties. You can see this one actually corresponds with the movements of the joystick we got here. Anyway, so that's how that's set up. This is important. So what I did here is, like I said, nothing but lights is hooked up to this right here. So what I did is I set up the left paddle here and the right flipper here, connected them. I just kind of have them dangling down. So now we're going to kind of go to putting the rest of this back together. Okay, so I'll take my right button and we're going to put it in the correct hole this time. The right side was fine, it's just that the left side was a little bit off. So I also want to kind of give you a little bit of a backstory on this. Pinball really wasn't my huge thing. I think I was an 80s kid, but I think that was kind of preceded a lot of the video games. So I don't know if any of my Sealy friends are listening, but there used to be a place in New Ulm. It was a little German restaurant. And sometimes my mom and stepdad would go out there and we would have a nice dinner. Now we're going to the left side. Same thing. And what I look forward to is playing Haunted Mansion, the pinball game. And it's the only thing that the restaurant had as far as video games, but I was always excited. It never said I was any good. That's actually the demo of the game that I was playing in part 1 of this video. Got some shavings here from the first time. Now what I'm going to do is, for the missed hole here, I am going to get some wood filler and use that to fill in the holes. And it's a little harder here because I will have a little bit of some of the wood shavings in here. Here we go. And I don't want to put it tight because I'm still actually working on the working on getting that other hole filled. Okay, so then I, like I've already said, if you look up here for my controller, I connected flipper, connected it, labeled it. So this is flipper right. So we're going to go ahead and plug in flipper right and flipper left. So flipper left, just like I showed you in the last video, you want to find the right spot. This is kind of hard to see, I know. Put it in, rotate it down, and clamp it in. Nice solid sound. I'll try to do it with the camera here so you guys can actually see what I'm actually doing on this side. Okay, so same thing here. The button goes towards the button itself. This low thing here goes on the edge right here, and again, like I said, I'm one-handed, so this makes it a little bit difficult. But flip it in. And rotate it down. So it snaps into place. There we go. And that's in. I'm going to probably rotate those downwards so they don't get shorted. Now I'm going to show you how to configure this device here. So now we're back in. Like I said, the two connectors up here. You can pick any connectors you want. And the interface for Visual Pinball doesn't really know or doesn't really care if you're working with joystick number 1 or joystick number 2. But it's easier than trying to guess what button numbers you have by using the joystick utility. Alright. That's the hole here that I had before. It's causing me issues. Everything's actually fine here. Here we go. And that button's on this side. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to our joystick. So, we know that my joystick is the other one, so we're going to close out this window. And we're going to remind you again, what do we have here? So, we click on this. Click on properties, yours may be backwards. And as I press my button here on the side, button number 2 lights up for the right flipper. Button number 1 lights up for the left side flipper. That's all we need here. You just gotta remember 1 and 2. And my launcher, which I'm still gonna keep on this one. This here is my start button. The coins will still remain on the other controller, and that's fine. Another option to make this easier is you can buy the iPack, which actually uses letters instead of numbers on the joystick, which makes it a little bit easier. But now they keep going up in price, and I really don't feel like 30 bucks for 2 switches is worth it. Okay, so now we launch Visual Pinball. Google is your friend. There are packs out there that have multiple games. I don't want to tell you where stuff is because I don't want to get in trouble here, but so we're going to pick 1, 2, 3, 1973. Initializes. Now with this setup, unlike my MAME, you actually don't need the keyboard. And this is the game. So to get out of it, it's usually the escape key. I already remapped it. For mine, it's the coin key on the side, which is the quick editor. Okay, now we want to go into preferences. And we want to go into configure keys. If you guys have any issues with the software, I might do another video on that. Just let me know if it's something you're interested in. Okay, I went ahead and I assigned it. So left flipper, I just push down here, and I select what button I want. These go along with the numbers that we already had earlier. This is why I had you go into the joystick utility. For me, that's button number 1. So we're going to leave that button 1. Flipper right, that's button number 2. And credit I left for the other joystick. Like I said again, this thing doesn't care if you're on 1 or 2, just the button is what it looks for. And let's see, the other one is Plunger. So Plunger is actually enter or button number 4. Once you have this configured, click OK. And we're going to launch this one here. So play. Voila. So down here, insert coin. Start the game for me is this, for the pinball. And there's the ball. To launch the ball is still this. And since I'm one-handed, there's the flipper. Of course, it would go on the other side, so let's try this again with, see, maybe it favors the, it's hard to do one-handed. Last ball, I'm going to switch hands. First I'm one-handed, so that's going to go in the gutter. Again, to quit, I have, it's either escape, I have the coin button on this side for that. Click that once. This takes you to the editor. Configuring, like I said, is a challenge. I would recommend a pre-packed set. And to open up a new one, all we do is File, Open. And for me, we're going to go right back where we started. Like I said, the my favorite game from the German restaurant in New Ulm. So that's H for Haunted House. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff in here. Haunted House. Hit play. Once it loads. Sometimes the more complicated ones take a little time. And once in a while, if it gets stuck, like I said, today is not my techno day. But, oh, here we go. I am curious to see if anybody I know remembers the restaurant or remembers playing the game. Okay, we're just going to click on the outside of this, get rid of the window. And this is the haunted house. So again, money goes in. Start button. Anyway, and that's how you build a pinball out of Arcade 1up. Thanks for watching.